another cryptocurrency video. This is the Moneyman Capital. We've got a few things to talk about here today. First things first, where do we think Bitcoin is headed in terms of price point? Are we going all the way up to the $100,000 mark, or is it further beyond that? Are we gonna get to 1 million at some stage? So we're gonna talk about that in this video. Also, we've got to talk about the Bitcoin Ethereum dominance situation to see what's really going on in the market, and it's just really the top of the altcoin season. Are we sort of really in the altcoin season? All this and more in this YouTube video. Welcome guys, this is the Moneyman Capital. Today we're going to be just looking here about the what's going on here with the Bitcoin Ethereum dominance. So as you can see on my screen here, effectively what's been happening is that the Bitcoin's been falling all throughout this year in terms of the dominance that is got overall in the crypto markets over all other cryptocurrencies. And what's happening is the other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum and Binance Coin and others, Dogecoin, are all going up to the moon effectively. So if you just sort of look at what's been historically taking place in the crypto space, if I just said here, show me long term or historically what's been going on. So this is basically the chart of what's really been going on historically within the cryptocurrency space. And as you can see, in the bear market, really is the Bitcoin that provides the hedge, and it really dominates the cryptocurrency markets overall, and that's where all the market cap goes to effectively, and really that's where the dominance comes from. So as you can see, back in the day, it really started off with high 90% in terms of the dominance. So at this point, really, there was pretty much one crypto asset at that point in time, and then up until back in when the 27 boom happened and we saw all-time highs, it really dropped from around mid 80% to all the way down. It's a sharp drop really, because that sort of happened over that sort of happened from beginning of 2017 up until towards the mid of 2017, as you can see down there. So I think really over a course of 3-4 months we saw almost like more than a half a drop. So this was dropping from about 85-86% all the way into 37%. So that's like a massive drop right there. So in terms of the that particular time period, that's a massive drop. I'm just gonna go back to the same period and just see what's been going on here. So, not put the proper period there. Okay, so if I just said 0101, so to show me up until now, really. So 055. So if you said, have a look at that, right? So like we were saying, so the drop really was from 86% all the way down to 37%. So that was nearly 40% drop in terms of the Bitcoin dominance. And almost obviously at the same time, what happened was all the altcoins are pumping big time, going to the moon. So as you can see, Ethereum went roughly in the same time from being down at 3.9% up towards nearly meeting even gap of 6% between Bitcoin and Ethereum. So really they got pretty close at that point. So that's the closest they've ever been. So as you can see, it's been a massive climb up there back then for Ethereum, going up from 3.9% all the way up to 31% roughly. So that's sort of what happened back then. And now if you look at that after that, sort of as we went into the 2018 period, and then it was basically all the prices were going south at this point, and Bitcoin dominance started to go back up, and all coins effectively, they were getting pummeled at this point. So as you can see, Bitcoin dominance got all the way to the top around there of about 70%, touching 70%. and then there was a bit drop further, and then up until when we started our current bull run. So again, it got close to 70%. So we can see there's clearly a top there of the Bitcoin dominance around 70%. So in the recent past, the dominance of Bitcoin has been varying between all-time highs in terms of the BTC dominance has been around 90% or 80% more realistically as to what's happened in the past. And then this has dropped down to about 37%, climbing all the way back up to touching 70%, and now starting to drop again in terms of the current cycle of what we've seen happening. So this pretty much is the peak we saw around about beginning of this year. I would have thought so back in the December last year, but really that's when it was at the beginning of this year. And then it's been dropping down again. So we've again dropped from 70% Bitcoin dominance down to already around 47%. So that's quite a steep drop already. So we've gone sort of 70% to 47%. So that's, well, give or take about 25% drop already. But I think there's clearly more room to go down in terms of the Bitcoin dominance. So I think it would be fair to say in the previous run, I think this is, it's not to say really history is going to repeat itself, but history does rhyme. So if you've seen in the past that the Bitcoin dominance has gone from 85% down to 37%, if we extrapolate the same numbers in terms of what could happen in this bull run, is we could go down from 70% down to somewhere around say mid 30s or early 30%, so around about 35 or 33%, sort of 33 to 35% Bitcoin dominance. So we've got quite a way to go because we're still high 40%. So obviously it's not to say it's definitely going to happen, but clearly there is headroom there in terms of Bitcoin to further come down in terms of the dominance of the crypto market. If you look at what's happened to Ethereum at the same time, so Ethereum was at the start of the year roughly at 12% of the crypto market, and now it's sort of around about the same point. I think it's about 15%. So really, even though there's been an appreciation in terms of the Ethereum going up against the Bitcoin, but in relative terms, there's not really much that has changed in terms of the Ethereum dominance going only from the likes of 12% to 15%. So quite easily Ethereum dominance could double from here up until sort of really getting close to 30% as well. So we could get to, in another 3 to 6 months time, while we're still in the bull run, getting to something like a 33 to 35% Bitcoin dominance, and Ethereum dominance touching the likes of about 25% or so. So it could easily close to double from here, or very close to that. So I think that's pretty much on the Bitcoin Ethereum dominant situation. So we've got a lot of runway ahead of us in terms of the altcoin season to really keep going on for another few months. Obviously, it's not going to go on forever. So where we see the bull runs, it cannot just be a green candle all the way forever. So it does have to, unfortunately, come to a halt at some stage. I think the current indications are that's likely to happen in about sort of, give or take 3 to 5, 6 months period. We're obviously now in May. So if we said, say 3 months from now, look like June, July, August. So, at least we could see another, bull run going on until August. And it could go on for another couple of months after that. So we could well be into September, October, November. So it's sort of somewhere in there that between, August to November, the bull run is going to get to that stage where Ethereum is going to double from where it is at now, which is almost $3,500, and Bitcoin is dominance wise, domination of the Bitcoin as a market cap of the overall crypto assets is gonna pretty much keep coming down another 10-15% down. So yeah, there's a lot of room there for the altcoin season to go on for another 3 to 6 months. So I think if you have a quick look at the coin market cap to see what's how the coins are really looking like in the past few days, really. So I think in terms of the altcoins, Ethereum is really strong and it's got a lot of runway ahead of itself. I think easily it can get up to, in the short term, around $5,000. And towards the end of the bull market, get closer to, $8,000 to $10,000. So there's a lot of room for Ethereum to effectively keep growing against the dollar and against the Bitcoin. So I think against the Bitcoin, it can easily double from here. So if you look at Ethereum versus the Bitcoin, so I think that's a quick kind of chart of how the Ethereum has been going on against the Bitcoins. I think in terms of the Ethereum Bitcoin situation, as we can see in the past few days and weeks, this is really done out over an hourly basis. If we change it on a daily basis, Ethereum's been going really strong. It's from start of 2021, even from back in the last year, even actually year before last, it's really been gaining against sort of Bitcoin. So we've really doubled up almost here. So if you're new into crypto, I would sort of recommend anyone to get into some of these altcoins for the short term. You could easily see your money doubling up, tripling up, 10x, 10x quite easily in the next sort of 3 to 6 months. So for sake of argument, if you were coming in fresh into crypto and you had say $1,000 to invest, you should really look to get into the altcoins. Bitcoin, it's already at quite a high price. It's sort of nearly $55,000 at this point. Even if you did put in $1,000 into Bitcoin and it did sort of Bitcoin managed to get up to close to say $120,000, then yeah, your $1,000 could become $2,000. But you've got to ask the question: is it really worth it to be doing that? Given the risk-reward situation, you could look to put the same kind of money into the altcoins, and they could go easily to the moon. They could kind of 5-10x in this current cycle of the bull run that we're in, and you could make a lot more that way. But in terms of the Ethereum Bitcoin situation, clearly, as you can see, just even recently Ethereum was lagging around 0.3, so it's sort of doubled up Ethereum against the Bitcoin. So Ethereum's pretty much gone from being at 0.03 and has now pretty much gone in to get around close to 0.6 that is. So it's sort of clearly doubled up in that time over here. In terms of the overall trend, I mean, if we change this now into sort of a longer term chart, now this is where we kind of get to see what happened in the last bull run. So in the last bull run of 2017, Ethereum got up to 15% of the Bitcoin value. So it got up, it's a lot higher than where currently we're at. So I think in terms of our current price on the Ethereum Bitcoin charts, I think we're kind of entering a space here where there's as you can see, there was a previous support line here at the 0.06 level. 0.06 level, so this is going to act a bit like a resistance right now. But once we break this resistance, the next sort of resistance line is going to be around the 0.08 level. So if we just manage to go above where we're at right now at 0.06 and so sneak in up in the current cycle, get up closer to 0.08, and even if the Bitcoin stayed where it currently is, and saying, so if Bitcoin's at $57,000 and Ethereum manages to get to 0.08 of that, so that would already be around $4,500, and that's saying if Bitcoin doesn't go up in price, if Bitcoin gets into around $100,000, then it will be 0.08 of that, so we'll be looking closer to $8,000. Now that's more realistic of where Ethereum could easily end up in the current cycle, and once it gets past that, this is still not even making new all-time highs. This is still just pretty much working in the current trend, and if it manages to go above that, the next sort of levels would be around 0.10 and then going up to likes of 0.15. So longer term, if we manage to cross that, if Bitcoin crosses $100,000, and we're in that kind of 0.15 type range, as you can imagine, so it will be 0.15 of that. So Ethereum could easily get between $10,000 to $20,000 in sort of medium term time frame. So pretty much before we get into the next Bitcoin halving, which is going to happen in 2024. So I don't think Ethereum's going to get into this kind of price range in the current bull run. In the current bull run, I think the bull case for Ethereum is pretty much getting closer into the $10,000 mark, so be around $8,000 to $10,000 mark, and then we will see a bit of the prices will come down at some stage. After that, we will once the bull run ends and we go into the bear market, then Ethereum would come down like all other coins. It will probably come down lesser compared to other coins, because obviously it's got a proper ecosystem behind it, and a lot of the technical fundamentals that underpin Ethereum as the ecosystem effectively at this stage. So, but I think once we start coming back up the other side in terms of the timeline of say 2023, closer to that, so not be next year, so it's quite likely next year it will be the bear market. Things would start to come down at some stage. I know this is not what people really want to hear, but I think we've got a lot of runway ahead of us, another 3 to 6 months at the very least. But then at some stage in 2022, we will see the crypto market start to take a breather, start to sort of go sideways, or some of them start to come down. I think really as we get closer to the 2024 halving for Bitcoin, that's where the next bull cycle will start to come in. But that's pretty much the sort of target short term, medium term on Ethereum. And some of the altcoins are in terms of what else is going on in the marketplace. If you have a look at the Bitcoin now, so Bitcoin has been Bitcoin, first of all, Bitcoin, right? So this is kind of our previous top in terms of the price point. So this is when back in the 2017 market we got them up to sort of the $20,000 mark, and since then in the current cycle we've really been shooting up and up and up, and getting into closing into now $60,000. I think currently, again here the trend is our friend. So if you look up what's happening in terms of the So say the daily action, which is what that's looking like. I think that particular dip there was where it was a bit interesting. We could have pulled down quite a bit, but there's a lot of recovery made since that point, and now currently on the daily chart we're effectively trading sideways. And what could happen here is that we could just trade sideways for a bit, and then next bump up effectively at that stage. So that this is something that could easily happen, and is very much possible, I think. And this is sort of where we will sort of go into the August September time, sort of start to get into much higher prices really. So if I come back now, I'll level up this into a weekly chart and say, show me, where does that look like? I think, yeah, that's pretty much where I think this is gonna this is how it could play out. This is obviously not a certainty. Obviously I'm not a financial advisor, so this is just what I will be doing with, or where I think the market's headed to. Obviously you do your own due diligence and think about how you want to play the market. So I think that's pretty much everything for this quick YouTube video. I think that's all I wanted to quickly share with all of you. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, then please give it a big thumbs up. I do appreciate all the views and likes, and if you like this type of content, then please consider subscribing to this channel. It certainly helps out in terms of the subscribers, and does enable me to get more such videos pushed out to you quicker. As always, if there are any comments you have on this video or others, please let me know in the comment below. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll catch you